When I tested the Remigo One electric outboard motor, people said to me, you should compare it to the ePropulsion E-Lite electric outboard motor. This is the ePropulsion E-Lite electric outboard motor. Let's talk about this, and let's compare it to the Remigo One because I got both. Here's the Remigo One and the ePropulsion E-Lite, both mounted on the back of my little 13-foot wooden skiff. And I've got them set about as perfectly even as I can. If you notice, the angle is slightly different, but I tried a bunch of different transom pin angles and none of them were as close as this one is. Same with the prop height. I got my props set about the same height, so they'll be sitting about the same depth in the water. Which one's quieter? Which one's better? Which one's better suited for this boat? And which one might be better for your boat? So let's take a minute and talk about the specifications of these two electric outboard motors. The Remigo One weighs 26 pounds, which is 11.8 kilograms. The ePropulsion E-Lite only weighs 16 pounds, 7.3 kilograms. Runtime. Now this is runtime measured at the top speed, so running full speed the whole time. They estimate the runtime for the Remigo One to be 1 hour and about 10 minutes. The ePropulsion E-Lite, only 45 minutes. Top speed. The Remigo One is a top speed estimated at 5.8 miles per hour, 9.3 kilometers per hour. The ePropulsion E-Lite is a mile an hour slower at 4.7 miles per hour, 7.5 kilometers per hour. I'll test that up myself in a little bit. Range, 5.8 miles, 9.3 kilometers for the Remigo One, and only 3.5 miles, 5.6 kilometers for the ePropulsion E-Lite. And cost. The Remigo One is $3,000, while the ePropulsion E-Lite is $1,250. So, as you can see, it's smaller, lighter, cheaper. But let's dig into this some more. The E-Lite has a silicone sealed prop. That might be perfectly fine for most people. However, you have to cut that silicone out if you ever get something tangled up in here, you need to change that prop. Not the end of the world, just a difference. The Remigo One has 3 positions for the handle. It's either down, folded down for carrying, or up like this. When it's up, it locks the motor in place. The E-Lite has this 3/4 position, which may be very useful for you. So here's the standard Remigo One tiller handle. You can see how long it is, and then here's the E-Lite tiller handle in its regular position. You can push this button right here, you switch hands, and extend it. And so that makes it longer than the Remigo One. However, the Remigo One also, if you use the remote, right? That makes them pretty much exactly the same length. The only difference is that the E-Lite can be used in a 45-degree angle, and this one, I mean, yes, you can use it in this angle, but it's going to be floppy because it's only meant to latch in at that angle. This is the E-Lite transom bracket. So I think these parts here are aluminum. This part here is plastic. So the stem that the motor mounts on is plastic. And I believe Chris from Tiny Boat Nation said that he didn't quite like this design, and you know, because it's plastic. But one of the nice features is this pull tab right here. So basically, as you can see, I can put it up in the, you know, up position, right? So the motor's in the up position, then pull this lever and it's in the down position. And as you can see, it easily springs out of the way. So if we hit a rock or something like that, or a sandbar, it pushes the motor up. But you can also lock it down like that, and it stays there, and then still you pull this up and you can have it in the up position, you pull this and it's in the down position, but it's locked. So that's nice how that switches back and forth, and it's very easy to set it in either one and it will stay in that position. I also like how this works. So this is which picture angle where the motor sticks off of the transom. And what's nice about this is that you push it in and flip it over because it's got a tiny little pin right here. It's got this flat edge there. So you just put it in upside down, spin it around, and it's not going to fall out until you push it all the way in and bring it out like that, rather than having like a locking ring or anything like that on there. And that sets the motor angle. So I like that. I think that's very nice. One of the things I have noticed about the Remigo One transom bracket is, while it is adjustable, it uses these locking pins here, so you have to thread those things back on again. So it's not like you can easily do it with one hand on the fly, because you could lose this, and this has one of these on both sides. But also the mechanism. So this locks your angle, and only when the motor's on can you actually do the tilting it up into the up position. When it's in the up position, the only way to release it, to put it in the down position, is with this here. But when it goes in the down position, it's always going to latch. Meaning you can't have it set in a way where it will kick up if it hits something. Because anytime this is in the down position, it's going to click in. You can't bypass this as far as I know. I don't see any way to bypass it to be able to have it in a down position where it can kick out when it hits something. So the E-Lite is adjustable for different height transoms. This is the E-Lite longer shaft version. It can be in 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. Both of them do allow for a trailering position. There's the Remigo One in the trailering position. And there's the E-Lite in the trailering position. As Chris from Tiny Boat Nation mentioned, he doesn't recommend trailering with the E-Lite like this because of all of this plastic right here, the way it can bounce around, that this could be a weak point. And I agree with that 100%. I don't trailer with any of these kinds of things on my boat because these are such small, lightweight motors that it's really not that hard to just pop them off of these mounts if you were trying to trailer down the road, because they both come off very easily. He says very easily. There we go. As I struggle. With the Remigo One though, it's heavier because it's a more powerful motor with a potentially longer range. It's still not heavy, but it's heavier. So, you could leave that bracket on and put this in the back of your vehicle. You can also do the same with the E-Lite. There's a button on the side here. And you just push this button and just pop it off, just like that. So, and it's even lighter. And you can do the same thing with the handle with this one. You have to fold it back the other way if you want to carry it, ideally. But there you go. So with both of them, I would leave these sitting in this position on the back of my boat. And then when you get to your destination, you just pop this on. Because remember, there's no batteries. Both of these are integrated batteries, which makes them very simple motors. Now the other difference is the handles. The Remigo One uses push buttons, and you can get the optional remote, which can fit on the end of the handle, which still has the push buttons, forward and reverse. They're really not that hard, and people will talk about, oh, well, I wish it had more precise fine tuning. It's a 3 horsepower electric. You don't really need to fine tune it that much. There's not much difference between the lowest speed and the top speed, and it isn't just like it's 4 positions. It seems like it's like, I don't know, 6 or 8. It's got a lot of different set speeds. The E-Lite, well, we're going to take both of these out in a little bit, and that'll be my first trip with the E-Lite. It's got the tiller handle control, which a lot of people like that idea better because tiller handle for speed is what people are used to. That's what their trolling motor has. So they like that. I get that. So right now, I look at it and I think that there are things to like about both of these motors. I think if I was making one, I'd want to make one that was halfway between both of these. Because while neither are perfect, there are things I like about both of them. And I really don't know how they're going to compare to each other. Ooh, let's hear what they sound like dry on the boat. I think we should do that. Let me get both of my kill switches here. Remigo One. E-Light. Both of them use a magnetic style kill switch. Everybody likes those. All right, I got the microphone on me, so I'm going to stand here and run both of these. It's a bit windy. It's just got the thing on there. All right, let's see. Here we go. Speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 10 speeds. Let's do the E-Light. Boop, boop. All right, let's go forward. It almost seems like it's just got one kind of speed, doesn't it? I don't hear it like picking up in RPMs any. Let's try reverse. They seem equally quiet, but they sound a bit different. But the real test will be on the water. Beep, beep, boop. So our first test is going to be the ePropulsion E-Light. Let me push off from the docks a little bit here. So I can get this started. Hello. There we go. Beep boop, and let's give it a whirl. Got a little bit of a breeze today. Right now I'm only running it at 39%, so. $56, 57. I think the mic picks up the hum. I remember every boat, the sounds might resonate differently. This is a wooden boat in my creek, so, you know, it might resonate some more sound than an aluminum boat. And now we're going with the wind at full speed. Let's pull up my speedometer app and see what we're getting. Getting a very respectable over 4 miles an hour. .6 miles an hour. So it feels very stiff, just like the Remigo does when it's on the boat, because it's a rudder. And it has good reaction. And of course it has a telescoping handle, so I can actually sit farther forward. Maybe able to make it go a little bit faster if I'm sitting farther forward. Let's see what we can do here. So we're running 500 watts. Now this will run 750 watts for about a minute's worth of time, a little burst if you need extra speed. Yeah, now that I'm sitting a little farther forward, we're hitting over 5 miles an hour. I actually just hit 5.5. My speedometer app bounces around a lot, so it's tricky because now it says 5.2, 4.8, 4.7. But yeah, we're averaging about 5 miles an hour. Guess we should see how it goes in reverse. Like a lot of these electric motors, it takes a minute to all the way stop. See, it wants to kick up because I don't have it locked in place, so I have to hold it down. So, one of the advantages of the E-Lite is that, as you can see, it does kick up. So, if you go to hit some debris, you get in shallow areas, it just will pop right up. But you can also latch this so that it stays fixed, which is nice. The fact that you have those two options. Also, just like any other motor, it kicks all the way up. The familiar tiller control, I get it. People prefer tiller controls. The display on this is easy to read. It's not the sunniest day of the year, but with it being black, I can read it. I read right now that I'm at 33%, so 33 watts. I apologize, not 33%. I've got tons of battery left. So then the question becomes, how does the speed and everything compare to the Remigo? We've got the Remigo One on here now. And I've got the remote tiller buttons on here right now, so. Sure, run the Remigo One full speed. See how it does? So I'm hitting over 6 miles an hour sometimes. Let's turn and go towards the wind. I'm not sure if you can hear the sound difference in the motors. The Remigo One sounds different. I don't know if it's really louder because it's faster. Maybe it is a little bit louder. And going into the wind, well, we're going about the same speed. 5.7. One of the things I might not have explained in the initial Remigo One video is that it does have a reverse. These two buttons speed it up and slow it down. And when you hit both of them, you can stop it, or if you slow it all the way to 0, and then you start hitting the other button, it operates in reverse. It doesn't have as many reverse speeds as forward, but it has reverse. So for some people, they like the tiller control, you know, the rotating the tiller. I get it, we're used to that. But honestly, the buttons are really not hard to deal with. I mean, your hand is here already. Reaching up to hit a button isn't that hard. It's a 3 horsepower electric outboard. Also, the fact that the motor does not kick up, I don't think of as a major detriment, because when you're hitting something going 5 miles an hour, you're probably not damaging one of these motors. I mean, it's got a big aluminum rudder in the front of it, so I can't see how that would damage it. As you can see, the volume of both of these is very similar, very negligible. Those are 2 different cameras, 2 different microphones. So let's look at a couple other factors that might help influence your decision. With regards to the shallow water, the ePropulsion E-Lite wins in that category. The Remigo One is just not designed to be able to bang into logs and do stuff in shallow water. It's more well suited for marinas. As far as controls go, people who like traditional tiller style controls, the ePropulsion E-Lite wins. I personally have no problem with the buttons either on top of the Remigo One or on the handle. They do the same thing, and by default, it just comes with the buttons on top of it. I found them very easy to use whenever the first time I ran that motor. When it comes to durability though, I'm going to give that to Remigo One. Everything on the Remigo One is metal. Almost every single aspect of it. Maybe some of the stuff in the top isn't. But the whole transom bracket is all metal. Everything else is metal. The tiller arm, all of that is metal. And on the ePropulsion E-Lite, a lot of that stuff is plastic. So I believe the Remigo One is probably a far more durable motor. And here's 3 other characteristics worth considering with the Remigo One. It is faster, it runs longer and it goes farther because it's a bigger, heavier outboard. And the ePropulsion E-Lite is lighter and cheaper. So it really comes down to what makes the most sense for you. I think both of these motors have a place, and I hope I help you decide which one of these might be right for you, or if neither of them are right for you, that's okay as well. I also have a discount for both of these motors. Here's my discount information for the Remigo One, and here's my discount information for the ePropulsion E-Lite. So if you do decide to purchase either of these motors, please be sure to use my link and get a discount. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you, and you stay safe out there on the water. Here's the next video YouTube has picked for you. It's a good one. Be sure to check this one out. I'll see you in that video.